Imagine the world's most powerful empire watching their emperor kneel before enemies. Impossible, right? But this actually happened.
One day changed everything when a Roman emperor was captured alive. The first time in history it happened.
What happened to him was so humiliating that historians felt ashamed to write it down for future generations. Was the emperor used as a footstool, or was this just propaganda? And why didn't Rome seek revenge?
Is the story of Rome's darkest day in 260 AD, when the empire was at its peak.
Roman legions were considered unbeatable, their military machine unstoppable. Emperors were seen as living gods with absolute authority. Roman citizens believed their empire was eternal and invincible, but any empire can fall with one mistake.
One battle can change everything, and Rome was about to learn this lesson in the most painful way.
Emperor Valerian was an experienced general and respected leader who came to power when Rome faced multiple crises. In 253 AD, Germanic tribes attacked from the north. Persians threatened the east.
Valerian gave his son Gallienus command of the west, while he marched east to face Rome's rising rival.
The target was Sasanian Persia. Valerian believed one decisive victory would solve all problems, but fate had other plans. The Sasanian Empire was rapidly growing under King Shapur, who was ambitious, brilliant, and had deep hatred for Rome. Shapur's dream was to humiliate Rome and make the Persian Empire supreme, and he systematically attacked Roman territories in the east. This wasn't just border skirmishes, this was a superpower clash. Rome versus Persia, old power versus new rising ambition.
Roman legions were considered unbeatable, their military machine unstoppable. Emperors were seen as living gods.
Initial campaign was successful and small victories were won, but then complete disaster struck when plague spread through the camp.
Soldiers were dying, the army weakening, morale dropping. Valerian should have retreated, but Roman pride absolutely wouldn't allow any retreat. He marched forward toward Edessa, straight into Shapur's trap. Persian intelligence was perfect. They saw Rome's weakened army approaching.
A battlefield moment arrived that Rome never imagined possible, the day everything changed forever at Edessa in modern Turkey. The Roman army, devastated by disease, faced fresh Persian forces. This was not an equal battle. The Romans desperately tried holding the formation together.
Persian cavalry was overwhelming. Arrows rained down. Heavy cavalry charged from both sides. Roman lines shattered.
Valerian was surrounded, cut off from his main force. Historians say Shapur brilliantly controlled the battlefield. Romans retreated in panic.
Then the unthinkable happened.
Some sources say Valerian went to negotiate peace. Others say captured during intense bloody battle. Then the unthinkable happened. Some sources say Valerian to negotiate peace.
A Roman emperor captured alive for first time in history. Rome's greatest nightmare had become reality, sending absolute shockwaves everywhere.
An emperor prisoner, it seemed impossible, but it was true, and Shapur fully exploited this unprecedented victory for propaganda.
Persian propaganda machine worked at full force. Coins were minted showing Shapur victorious and Valerian kneeling in defeated submission. Rock carvings were made at Naqsh-e to immortalize Persian triumph forever. The message spread throughout the known world.
The carvings showed Shapur on horseback, Valerian kneeling. Rome was not invincible. Their emperor.
Roman prestige built over centuries shattered in one day. Roman citizens shocked, allies doubted.
The psychological damage was worse than military defeat. Rome's identity as invincible empire was forever changed.
What happened to Valerian next is one of history's darkest mysteries. Different sources tell completely different, contradictory, shocking stories.
Some historians wrote that Shapur used Valerian as footstool when mounting his horse, and the emperor forced to kneel down.
Others say he was forced into hard labor in purple dye factories, the emperor working exactly like common slaves. Roman historian Lactantius wrote that Valerian was forced to drink molten gold and then his skin preserved as trophy forever. But modern historians are skeptical. These stories were likely Persian or Roman propaganda. Sooth. And the Valerian most likely died in captivity from natural causes or disease as prisoner in Shapur's court, without dramatic execution.
The reality was, Rome's emperor never returned home. Shapur never returned.
For Rome, this was ultimate disgrace. Valerian's capture threw Rome into deep political chaos and crisis throughout the entire Roman Empire.
His son Gallienus never attempted rescue. Why were resources unavailable? Or political calculations?
Roman allies questioned loyalty. The empire fractured. Breakaway states.
This moment was the peak of the crisis of the 3rd century. Rome never fully recovered from this devastating psychological blow forever. The emperor's image changed forever, from living god to mortal, and vulnerable future emperors lived with constant fear forever. Could this happen to them? Persian confidence soared. They remained aggressive in later battles. Rome's eastern frontier became permanently unstable.
Today, over 1700 years later, we still remember Rome's darkest day, when impossible.
This story teaches us that no empire, no matter how powerful, is truly invincible or permanent in world history.
No leader, no matter how divine they seem, is undefeatable. One battle, one decision.
Valerian's name is remembered not with honor, but with humiliation.
Rome never forgot, historians never forgot, the world never forgot.
The only Roman emperor ever taken prisoner alive, a reminder that power temporary, pride dangerous, and history unpredictable and unforgiving.
Roman soldiers marched across Syrian desert terrain, shields gleaming under hot sun, their determined faces.
Persian warriors prepared for battle, carefully sharpening deadly weapons, testing powerful bows, confident in their superior strategy, awaiting weakened Roman forces.
The battlefield moment when everything changed. Forever silence, suddenly breaking into complete chaos.
Imperial purple robes, once powerful symbol of divine authority, now covered in dust and defeat, all power stripped away completely.
Roman citizens receiving sticking news. Urgent messenger arriving in crowded forum, people gathering around.
Persian victory celebration, elaborate feast in ornate royal palace, musicians playing traditional instruments.
Ancient scrolls recording history's darkest moment. Scribes writing with trembling hands, preserving this unprecedented catastrophe for all future generations forever.
Poets. Frontier ousts receiving terrible news. Garrison commanders realizing emperor gone.
Sasanian Empire rising dramatically in power and confidence. Persian territories expanding steadily.
Emergency Senate meetings, senators debating crisis intensely, what to do, how to respond, who to blame. Empire's leadership paralyzed completely. Roman military training camps continuing drilling despite tragedies. Soldiers' proclamations, legions being formally built. Trade routes becoming increasingly dangerous, merchants fearful. Roman commercial power declining, currency losing value.
Religious ceremonies intensifying. Romans desperately praying to gods, seeking explanations. Historical monuments being built, immortalizing Persian victory. Massive stone carvings lasting forever. Physical reminders of Rome's humiliation visible for all time.
Germanic tribes hearing about emperor's capture, immediately planning new attacks, seeing Roman weakness as perfect opportunity for invasion, plunder, and conquest.
Roman provinces discussing rebellion possibility. Local governors considering declaring independence, seeing central authority as fatally weakened, unable to protect them. Egyptian grain shipments to Rome slowing dramatically as merchants feared unstable empire transportation becoming dangerous, affecting food supply throughout empire.
Roman military engineers designing new fortress improvements, stronger walls, deeper ditches, better defensive positions.
Wealthy Roman families secretly moving assets to safer locations. Gold being buried, art being hidden.
Persian poets composing victory songs about Shapur's triumph over Rome, and these songs spreading throughout the East.
Roman historians debating how to record this shameful event, some wanting minimize it, others believing truth must be preserved accurately.
Eastern Roman cities reinforcing walls frantically, local militias being organized, citizens preparing for possible Persian advance, everyone fearing they're next.
Gallienus receiving pressure from Roman Senate to rescue his father, but resources depleted by Western Germanic invasions, impossible choice facing.
Persian messengers traveling to neighboring kingdoms, spreading news of victory, Rome's defeat.
Centuries later, historians still studying, analyzing, debating this pivotal historical moment, lessons